Good afternoon and welcome back to Hillier Oval here in Liverpool in southwestern Sydney as we look to get away with the third match between Brazil and Peru. My name is Sean, I'm joined by Daniel, co-commentator, and Daniel, it's great to see 3 games of International Rugby League in February.
Absolutely. It's a great way to start the year here, especially out west where, I consider this to be rugby league heartland, right? So it's really good to see the international footy get on here. We see Peru and Brazil lighting up today. Look at these jerseys, Sean. Don't you think they're sensational?
The jerseys are sensational. I really need to get myself some new rugby league merchandise. And I love the Peru jersey. It's a throwback to probably the traditional soccer shirts. There's also some traditional patterns on the jersey. And then the Brazil team. Again, another fabulous jersey that I really need to add to my collection.
Absolutely. It feels like I'm looking at the Brazil soccer side here with the bright yellow and blue shorts. Only difference here, obviously, the socks. Instead of being white, they're a nice black. That being said, you look at these jerseys and you look at the way that they're actually laid out. It makes any supporter be able to just slap on, one of these, mainstream jerseys from soccer and still look like they're supporting the rugby league sides. That's how good they are. You can really tell in the crowd as well who's supporting who.
And the crowd support today has just been fantastic. Those who got here early for the under-16s match. And that crowd's continued to build over the course of what brings us to the third match of this afternoon. And there's a good few hundred people here. We've got the food trucks are here. We've had the Latino performances, some music, some dance. And everyone's in great spirits, aren't they?
Absolutely. It was really good to see the Rio dancers come down and show us, a bit of that Brazilian culture. The Brazil side, it's full of plenty of domestic Brazilian players as well, not just heritage players. So it's good to point that out, that you're actually seeing those Brazilians come through. So in terms of the sides at the moment, just before kickoff, we've got number 1 fullback Steve Braga for Brazil, number 2 wing Ruben Gomes, number 4 centre Donovan Barreira, number 5 wing Ravi Arujo, number 6 5'8" Lucas Vinas Vieira, number 7 halfback Dylan Nunes, number 8 prop Marcos Jackson, number 9 hooker Rodrigo Rezende, and number 10 prop Connor Howison, 11 second row Hector Gilberto, 12 second row Simon De Arujo, and 13 lock Matt Gardner. Just had a kickoff, penalty to... Is that a penalty? Or
it's quite a fortuitous play here for Peru, who have kicked off, got us underway here in the first half. And from that kick, we did have a bit of an error there when it came to the receiving team there. Brazil knock on. The referees put down a scrum, and Peru will have attacking play here as they look to come left. They shift left, but strong defence from Brazil.
Absolutely. And we're coming off, Peru's coming off a win recently to Uruguay. So they've done very well for themselves. And this is going to be the first match that Brazil actually plays here in Australia, full 13s. They did play successfully in the Latin Nines last year in September, and where they did come in 3rd place. Peru 4th place on that occasion. With El Salvador actually taking out the championship.
So at this stage, it's Jai Summers calling the shots out of dummy half. What can you tell us about Jai?
Jai is a veteran for Latin Heat Rugby League, not just Peru. So he's a tried and tested footy player for us, and one of the key senior players that you need in your side to drive the direction and show force. He was very, very influential in Peru's win over Uruguay late last year, and he's obviously going to look to put the points onto Brazil very quickly. He knows how to read the game well.
So we just saw a little attacking play there with Jacob Parker dabbing a little kick into the in goal, but it ran a little too far. So Brazil with the restart at the 20, marching upfield. They're already over the 30-metre line, but strong tackling there by the Peruvian forward pack there as Brazil shift to the right. He's met by Summers. Brazil again coming right.
It's good to actually see Matt Gardner back on the paddock after season-ending injury late last year, playing for Blacktown Workers. So number 17 on the field. Dylan Nunez with the kick. Very deep into Peru territory. Well taken by number 14. Donovan Barrera there coming back in for that missed tackle. Helped by number 5, Ravi Ahuro.
Isaiah Parker now with the carry. Summers waiting for the ball. From dummy half, splits the defence, splits the markers, and picks up an easy 10 metres. And gets the penalty to boot. Fantastic play by the veteran there.
Exactly what you want from a player on your side. Looks like he might be suffering a bit of a cork at the moment.
He's
Hopefully
clutching at
that one off.
It looks like at the lower calf. Let's just hope it is just a knock, just a cork, and it's nothing too serious. Trainer on the field, having a look. He looks to be in some discomfort, but being the veteran that he is, I'm sure that this will be no barrier to him continuing on with the game.
You can see him get him up already. Oh, barely made it out there.
So as Peru sneak into their attacking half now, just over halfway, looking for the tap restart.
Roy Razuri taking the run up here. So we're going to be Peru's going to be looking to their big forwards right now to take these run ups. With number 13 at the moment, Martin Portillo, taking a run up and causing some damage with a Brazilian player on the floor right now, copping a massive hit from that elbow.
It's been a stop-start beginning to this game. Both teams looking to settle the nerves with some simple carries, not too expansive the style of play, but the defence has been bruising. We're seeing that with a couple of players now going down injured. And I'm just very glad that I'm sitting up here in the clubhouse and I'm not down there on the pitch.
Well, it's a sort of welcome that these players need, coming together for the first time, especially Brazil as a national team, to cop those hits up early, get a flavour of what international rugby league is like. It's a bit more furious. It's like that step up that you see from club footy to state of origin, for example. What you're seeing here is that club footy step up to the international scene now. A lot of these players also don't necessarily come from a rugby league background. So in Brazil's instance, quite a lot of these players have been playing union, which is a different type of sport. And while there are similarities, the state of play and the faster play that you experience in rugby league is going to catch up to you.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Daniel. There's many differences, particularly in terms of positional play as well. And so for these teams to get together and represent their nations, it's the beginning, and it's all about progressing and being able to develop as international teams, to be able to further their international rankings by playing matches. That'll open up opportunities for things like World Cup qualification down the track.
That was a big hit there.
So Summers and Parker linking up. Summers now.
Ooh, lost ball. That was unfortunate. After such a big hit, having to drop that ball, to play the ball, it's going to have an impact on the Peruvian side, with Brazil now having possession. Hopefully what we see at the back of this scrum is a bit more stable ball from Brazil. There have been quite a few dropped carries, so it'll be good to see some more stability there as nerves start to settle.
So Dylan Nunez gets us underway, linking up with Steve Braga, the fullback. There's a flat ball there to 17.
So Steve Braga and Dylan Nunez are actually brothers. And so this is pretty much the first time that they're playing in the same side. So it's quite a rare thing to see in rugby league these days. Obviously, you've got the brothers that play out of South Sydney. We know them very well, and you've obviously had the Morris brothers out of the Dragons. But to see that on the international scene is quite incredible too.
It is incredible. We've seen some, over the years we've seen some combinations of brothers, and it's good to see that continue here on the international stage.
Exactly right.
With Peru looking to break through this strong Brazilian defence. Coming back left.
Joe Summers once again doing a good job of marshalling the trips from hooker. Running it himself this
Summers
time.
going himself indeed, linking up with Isaiah Parker. Isaiah Parker's looking very dangerous with ball in hand, isn't he?
Exactly right. He's actually one of three brothers. As we mentioned before during our first under-16s game, Elijah, his youngest, is actually playing there. Ooh, we almost saw a bit of a scuffle there between Peru and Brazil. Tempers flaring already. We need to see that calm down.
Yeah, just a little scrappy piece of play there in terms of to play the ball. A little knock-on spotted by the referee, so we'll have another scrum, which again allows Brazil to have some open space if they decide to shift the ball from this restart.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Walter Godinez, who's just sent through a comment saying we're doing quite an excellent job doing the commentating here today.
Well, let's keep getting those comments through, especially if they're positive. No, a big thank you again to Bar TV for bringing you the coverage here. We've got people from all around the world tuning in, whether it's the afternoon, morning or evening, wherever you might be. Thanks for joining us here at Hillier Oval in southwestern Sydney. As Brazil marching downfield.
Gardner looking very dangerous with that ball. He actually played Super League for quite some time, so he's got that experience. Unfortunately, he's just lost that ball.
Another scrappy play of the ball. You said that he did have that injury and he's coming back, so look.
That could be playing a part in
perhaps
this.
It is. But Brazil will definitely be using Gardner throughout this match to really set up the play, to really build that foundation that then the backs can work off.
Yeah, so he played about, I think from memory, it was close to about 200 games in English Rugby League, including, I think he played for Huddersfield, Castleford and Salford towards the end of his career in English Rugby League. I think one of the biggest highlights he had, from memory, Sean, was playing in the 2016 Rio Olympics in Rugby Sevens.
He did make that change to Rugby Sevens and was able to represent at the Olympics, which is it's a huge effort. But you're right, he's got such a rugby league pedigree about him that over 200 matches, I believe, across a few different Super League teams there over in England. So to have that experience here in this match is going to be very valuable. As we see Peru with a little grubber kick in, a ricochet. It's picked up by number 17, which is Matthew Zarate, I believe, who's on the field.
Peru looking dangerous down this part of the field.
Another grubber kick, and it's picked up by the winger. Puts the ball down cleanly. Touch judge says that's fine, and referee points to the spot. First points of the match, Daniel, to Peru.
That was actually Jai Summers. Number 9. The veteran come back in force.
He was down and out just a moment ago, picking up what looked like a calf or ankle injury, but he shook that off, and there we see what the veteran can do.
That's why you need a guy like that on your team, Sean. Peru 4-0 against Brazil.
So with play about to resume, it is Peru that edge ahead in this one. High restart. Taken well by Peru in number 15. Roy Razuri. Peru choosing to keep the ball alive there, offloading at every opportunity they get. Summers clapping his hands saying, let's get to quick play the ball. It slowly comes out, and they're shifting right to 13, Martin Portillo, but he loses the ball.
Regathered by Brazil.
And we should see a scrum with head and feed to Brazil. Which is exactly what the referee signals. So, thoughts on that passage of play there with Peru getting the ball back. Now, if I were coach, I'd be thinking, let's complete this set. We've just scored points. We've got the ball back in our hands. Let's complete the set. Let's kick it downfield and let's defend. Peru choosing to offload the ball, pressure play, 30 metres out, and coming up with the error.
I think that's just the excitement getting to the Peruvian side off the back of that try.
Fantastic run there by the 7, which is Dylan Nunez.
He's a player to watch. He played against the Indian Jungle Cats in October last year, and he by far was one of the most electric players on the field.
As we see Brazil going very close to scoring a try, but as he's reached out to put the ball down, the referee said he's actually lost control of the ball just before the try line. Wasn't in goal, so we'll actually see a scrum on the 10-metre line. But again, Brazil damaging, and it all came from Nunez. As you said, against the Indian Jungle Cats, he was very damaging.
Very damaging, especially on the left edge, which is where he favors. He favors a field position the most. So he links up with his wingers and his setters, mate. He's on fire. He knows how to read the plays. He knows how to read other players and what they're going to do. So key one to watch, especially in future games.
As Peru look to march downfield after a frantic passage of defence there. Summers calling the shots again. He's going for a little dart out of dummy half. He's met by impact by Donovan Barria. Gets to quick play the ball though.
Donovan's got a bit of size on him, doesn't he? He's come through, and he's from all aspects one of the biggest team hype men that Brazil have at the moment. So it's good to see him backing up tackle after tackle.
As Brazil plays the ball, it's picked up here by Peru, crossing the halfway line. As we see tempers flare, it's some unnecessary.
It's a little push and shove here. Nothing much to see.
No, it really wasn't. But what was happening, really, as far as I see it, is that it was a strong run, looking for a quick play of the ball, and look, the defence was just hanging in there for too long.
Yeah. As Latinos, we're all hot-blooded here, you know what I mean? And especially in footy, tempers flare, man, and everything goes crazy. Sometimes you just don't know what you're doing, and you throw that ball, right? Just unfortunately what happened here.
So the referee said that it's just a penalty? The Summers kicks for touch.
So that was number 17, Mateo Zarete. So let's see if Peru can compose themselves after that slight scuffle. Tensions are high at the moment, a lot of excitement in the team, which I'm hoping results in more impactful footy and less errors.
We've had an interchange as well with Kenneth Hopkins coming on in jumper number 10. He's a big man, and I'm sure they'll be looking to utilise him when they can, as we see Isaiah Parker rattled with that tackle. Peru playing in the middle of the pitch, choosing not to go for any shifts just yet.
That line speed is quite sensational from Peru at the moment. Brazil really needs to watch that. One slight step and scrummage and they're in there, mate.
Summers sends his troops back towards the sticks. Parker calling for the ball. Summers cut out ball, finds it, step off the left. Parker gets the offload away. We get a long ball. It finds Isaiah Parker, and I think he's in.
He's lost the ball. He's lost the ball going down for the try. It's a 20-meter restart.
Wow.
So close there.
The Parker boys combining there. In half back there, we've got Jacob Parker, who jumping off the left foot and then taking on the line, getting a late offload away. And then the ball was fed to the left-hand side to Isaiah Parker. But as you say, lost ball, so out to the 20 we go. Brazil picking up a penalty here for some lazy Peru defence. Lying in the ruck a little too long to the referee's liking. So at that 40-metre line there, we'll see a penalty to Brazil.
I think getting closer to the back half of these 20 minutes here that we're going through at the moment, what you're going to see is the Peruvian side and Brazilian side fitness levels start to drop a bit. Being one of the first games they're playing this year, you're going to see a bit more slower play and a bit more of that lacy ruck play.
So the tap restart through
Mark
Rosendo.
Jackson.
Finds Jackson.
So Mark was a shining star for the Latin Heat side in the Emerging Nations World Championship back in 2018. Very successfully played for the New South Wales Latino squad called La Cucarachas. So it's really good to see him back out on the field representing Brazil, his team of heritage, which back then did not exist. This is the first game, as I previously stated.
There's Rosende waiting for the ball. Runs himself, takes on Summers, but Summers says, I've been here before, and pushes him back into the field of play. Going deep.
Nunes.
Finds Nunes. And we do have a knock-on called, so will we see a repeat set here for Brazil? In fact, we do. So again, you know, you might not be scoring 4 points, but it's the next best thing to get another set of 6, isn't it, Daniel?
Absolutely, especially with Peru backing up the way they have. You're really going to start to see them tire a bit more with these repeat sets. So hopefully Brazil can come up with the goods.
Vinicius Barros feeds it on to Braga, who takes the line on himself, gets the offload away.
Donovan Barrera.
Push back and strong defence there. 1, 2, 3 in that one.
Mark Jackson with the ball trying to cross over the big number 8.
Jackson reaches out, puts the ball down. It's on the line. Referee points to the spot. Brazil score.
4-all. With a big try there.
It looked like Mark Jackson there picked out Jai Summers in defence there, who of course is a smaller man than Jackson, and said, I'll take you on. And Summers probably making his 3rd or 4th tackle in a row. So, you know, as you said, the fitness levels, it is February. Fitness will come into this game, particularly as the game goes on. But to date, I mean, that's only the second try we've seen. and the early signs are good.
Yep, and that's Mark Jackson getting the very first try for the Brazil men's side in a 13s match. I'm sure we'll find out on Wikipedia somewhere. What do you think Peru's actually saying to itself in that huddle there at the moment, Sean, off the back of that?
I think it's probably a calming conversation to say to the boys that there's no need to be panicking just yet. It's the first try we've conceded. We've done well. We've looked good with ball in hand, especially when we offload. So there's no need to be panicking. It's the first try. Let's just compose ourselves in defence. Let's work on line speed, especially coming off our own line. Hit and stick, and the rest will come. I don't think there's any need to be panicking. As Nunes looking to add the extra 2 points. Taking his time. Moves in.
Luis Guillermo Fon coming onto the field for Peru. He's another one.
The flag's got there, Daniel, for an extra 2 points, so that will take our score to 6 points to 4. And you're right, a couple of substitutions being made. So the coach is looking for some impact and also probably to give a rest to some of the guys that are racking up some big tackle counts in the early stages of this game.
So we've just had Luis Guillermo Fon go on for the veteran Jai Summers. Luis is another veteran of Latin Heat, been there since the very beginning, and has gone through quite a big transformation in the last few years, having dropped at least 30 kilograms, going from front row to now playing in that hooker position.
Altamirano gets us underway. Ball taken there by Vinas Vieira. And a strong run there. Is that Gardner?
Good to see him have a crack out on the field. We have a player down in the back. He's coming off for Peru.
Zaraya with a strong run, crosses into the opposing half. A little jinking run there by number 5, Arayo. That's Ravi Arayo.
He's a bit of a speedster, isn't he?
Oh, and we've got poor service from dummy half there. The ball was way behind Simon Diorano, so could not take that one. So we'll see a scrum for Peru.
So, story behind Ravi, the speedster actually auditioned for the team with a YouTube clip of his highlights playing rugby sevens in Brazil, which is why he's here today.
Wow. Power of the internet, hey?
Yeah.
Bit of self-promotion.
It's always good to have a highlights reel,
It is.
especially when you want to play international footy.
Exactly, exactly.
It's a big run from number 16 in the Peruvian side.
Summers is back on in
Christian
the
Ibabaru.
half. Feeds the ball back to the right. Temper's flaring here. It looks like it's Parker there with a bit of push and shove, the number 7 from Peru. Opting to get his hands back on the ball and boot it downfield. Cleanly taken by the fullback in Braga, who pushes off Corey Daniela there, number 4, went in for the challenge, but the Brazilian had way too much power and force.
Yeah, Corey tried to stand his ground there. Didn't quite work out, did it?
Brazil marching upfield, using the forwards, using the big men through 18, who's now on the field in Ricardo Levi. And it looks like Casanova Kamana's on the field as well now, as Brazil. Continuing to just do the straight and narrow, but it seems to be working. 5th tackle. Torpedo bomb. This is going to be a tough one to take for the fullback, but he handles it. Whoa. Josh Marufo-Davidson, I believe it is.
Pereira there to make the tackle. Nice sidestep there from the number 18. It's beaten 3 players. Finally wrapped up by number 17, Matt Gardner.
Good meters by Peru here as they are edging closer to the halfway line. That's Jose Urrutia. Summers finds Daniela, who gets the offload, that late offload, which seems to be working for Peru.
Brazil needs to concentrate on wrapping up that ball in the tackles.
Daniela again getting his hands on the ball. He's not shy, that's for sure. I mean, that defensive effort we see where he got, bumped off, but he's come in for several hit-ups now, get his hands back on the ball as we see a torpedo pumped down to the in-goal. It's knocked on by the Brazilian fullback. We'll see a goal line drop out. Very tough kick to take. As we see those spiraling torpedoes, they drop early. You're in position, you're expecting the ball to land in your lap, and then it just drops early. And we see that there for Brazil. It drops just in front of him. He puts his hands out, but cannot get a good grip on it.
Just picked up that wind coming down, and it started spinning at 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? Poor Steven Braga has been shining all day, and that one fumble, he's going to really want to make up for that one.
Play resumes from the dropout through Altamirano. Peru peppering the right-hand edge here.
That was Matthew from dummy half there.
Back centre field.
So that's Luis Guillermo Fon taking the run up right now. Right in front of the posts, 5
Summers
metres out.
Comes left, finds his halfback, but it's a wayward pass, picked up by Ibaburu.
In number 14.
It's our left winger here. There's a couple of them out there. Oh, and we've got an unfortunate knock on there by Christian Ibaburu.
Another set of brothers, or cousins perhaps, in the Peruvian side.
So a scrappy little interchange there of passes. But it does provide an opportunity for Brazil. 20 metres out from their own line. Arroyo takes that first run from the scrum, gets to quick play the ball. It finds 13 in Gilberto, but he's gone into touch, unfortunately.
Trying to dance with the line. Sometimes it comes and bites you. Really need to see number 6, Lucas Vieira, step up to the plate as well alongside Dylan Nunez. I want to see that combination kick in. I haven't seen it kick in today.
Because when we saw them with that attacking opportunity down the Peru try line there, Nunez peppering a couple of little kicks, a couple of runs. But when it comes to working out from their own goal line, I think he needs to take a bit more control here of the team. Being that scrum half, he really needs to take ownership and really guide the boys down the pitch.
Yes. Big run from Peru just then. by Martin Portillo. He's playing an excellent role in lock at the moment.
Urrutia with the play the ball. It's picked up by Parker. Parker goes for a little run himself. He's put down about 12 metres out from his line. Urrutia goes for another one, and he's managed to stay in the field of play, but the referee has said there's a couple of Brazilian players offside. So it will be another set of 6 for Peru. 10 metres out.
Jose Urrutia is actually another dual international, just like Matt Gardner. He's actually played in the Peruvian national side for rugby union, and now he's playing in the rugby league side. Recently migrated over here in the last 5 months as well.
Martin Portillo with the first carry. Summers goes to Parker. Parker now finding Ibaburu. Christian. As the rain begins to fall here in Sydney, Summers finding Parker. Parker going to the line. Nice interchange of passes. Picking up Matthew Zarate, and they shift even further, and the 4 points is awarded by the referee. Fantastic piece of play there by Peru. They were composed with that shift to the right-hand side. Those players again, Daniel, featuring for Peru. The likes of Jai Summers, the likes of Robert Parker. Again, laying the foundation, getting their structures in place.
These are the guys that you need to rely on as the key veterans in your side, the guys that are actually leading the side. They step up at these vital moments. So that's exactly what we've just seen here. Peru now ahead 8-6. Still a conversion to come.
We've had fairly favourable weather up until this point, that despite it being an overcast day in Sydney, the rain has held off until just now. It's just starting to fall, but again, it's quite pleasant that there's not a strong wind. It's just not having too much of an impact on the game.
Yeah, Brazil's going to take advantage of this coming out of this, and with that kick to come. They're going to return that kick, and I guarantee you, Sean, it's going to be one of those high torpedo spirals that the Peruvians are going to be having a hard time to maintain a catch.
So the flags wave away that kick. 2 points is not added, and the score remains 8 points to 6. I guess for both of these teams, today is an important part of the development, both here using their heritage and players that have moved to Australia through work and study. We know there's a large population of Peruvian and Brazilians here in Australia that elect to do university here. They elect to start businesses here and so on. But back home as well, in their home nations, the game is continuing to develop, and I guess the likes of Chile is, leading the way and probably setting the path for both of these teams to be able to participate in World Cup qualifiers like Chile has been able to do, and will compete in the Americas Championships later this year. Is that the way you see it, Daniel, that both of these teams aspire to be probably in that position?
Absolutely, especially Brazil. They're probably the closest to Chile at the moment in terms of their recognition by International Rugby League at this stage. You know, they're both affiliates now of International Rugby League, and it's just a matter of Brazil building up the capability from a men's perspective to be able to compete in matches such as that America's Cup that Chile does take part in, on the other side as well, Brazil is actually paving the way in terms of the World Cup from a female perspective, from a women's perspective, because they're actually now going to compete in the next World Cup.
And we saw with that draw being done at Buckingham Palace by Prince Harry, and we saw one of the Brazilian female players being able to fly to London to partake in that draw. What a fantastic experience. And I guess, again, this is just putting Women's Rugby League and Latin Rugby League on the map and allowing people to take notice and say, well, this is what the future holds.
Yes, exactly right. Ooh.
We see a reckless high tackle there. There wasn't a lot of malice, it seems. A pat on the back.
The number 16, I think that was Christian Ibabaru making that tackle. Ooh, and Dylan Nunez almost slicing through there to almost score a try.
Braga, the fullback, in a dummy half. He beats one, he beats two. He's got 4 on him now, and they've put him down 2 metres out from the try line. It's Rosende. Looks to get the ball away. It's a knock-on from my view.
He was juggling that one towards the end, couldn't maintain possession.
The referee, in fact, calls that knock-on, which is unfortunate, and it will be Peru's ball. 10 metres out from their own line.
This is an opportunity for Brazil right now to spread it out to that right edge and potentially come up with the goods. Because you got quite a few big strongmen out that way in terms of Peruvian feet. Apologies there, fans.
Daniel was getting a bit excited there with the prospect of Brazil attacking 10 metres out and hopefully seeing Nunez and Braga linking up, but it wasn't to be. It's a Peruvian ball as they march over the 20-metre line. Huge hit there from Gardner. That man, 200 games, Super League experience, forces the knock-on, and you get your wish. It will be a Brazilian scrum. Might not be 10 metres out, but it's 20 out. And it will be Nunez feeding the ball.
That was a big hit on Corey Daniela there from Matt Gardner.
Corey Daniela's not been afraid to run the ball for a centre. He's come in and got his hands on the ball as much as he can, but Gardner, he's a strong man.
Got to give it to Corey, though. He keeps coming back, mate. He's got that resilience and that courage that you need in your Peruvian side.
As Barrera lost the ball there, number 4 for Brazil, so Peru...
Again, Corey Daniela running the ball.
And Daniela loses it, so it will in fact be a Brazil ball because after that first knock-on, the Peru player was tackled, played the ball, and it was a subsequent tackle where there was a knock-on. So we'll have a scrum with head and feed to Brazil here. So not a double knock-on, 2 separate plays, and looks like Braga will be the one to feed the ball here. It'll be out to Nunez. Nunez steps off the right. He's met by 4 Brazil players. Mark Jackson going close. Plays the ball 1 metre out. Scrappy.
Almost regathered there by Peru.
The referee said that the marker was not square. And it appears as though when Rosende, the hooker, got in there to shift left, the pass hit the deck, but they're saying that it was a Peruvian player that knocked out the hand, and that player was not square at marker. So Brazil, another set of 6 here as they look. Great little footwork there from Gilberto. Steps off the right foot, beats the first defender, hits the deck 3 metres out. Rosende, he finds the big man in number 10.
Connor Howison.
Howison scores a 4-pointer for Brazil.
It's still a 2-point game though, with the scores locked in at 10-8 towards Brazil.
So the score has shifted in Brazil's favour. After a passage of play of maybe 3 or 4 sets of 6 that resulted in repeated knock-ons and infringements, but then Brazil finally get the ball 10 metres out. And for those at home wondering about Connor Howison, well, his grandmother was born in Sao Paulo in Brazil. The family actually has a very heavy Polish bloodline, but moved to Brazil after World War II, which we know is the history for a lot of people in Brazil that fled Europe during the war. And Connor's father and sister are heavily involved in rugby league as well. His sister hopes to represent Brazil at the 2021 World Cup. So again, it's these family connections, isn't it?
Yeah, family connections are what actually that's what rugby league is actually built upon, right? And because it's the encouragement that you get from your brothers and sisters playing the sport that actually want to make you emulate and aspire to do the same. And this is exactly what we're seeing today in terms of all the brothers that are playing together, cousins that are playing together. And now, hearing Connor's story from you, Sean, brother and sister linking up to make their debut for their country.
He hits it nicely, and the flags go up. It's an extra 2 points, taking that scoreline out to 8 points to 12 in favour of Brazil. As the referee calls a halt to play, it appears it is half-time here at Hillier Oval in Liverpool in Sydney's southwest. We'll take a short break from play, but look to get back underway very shortly. And welcome back to Hilly Oval here in Liverpool in Sydney Southwest as we get away from the halftime break and get underway with the match. Tongue-tied there for a little bit, Daniel. We've had 3 games here, so please excuse me. But this one, it's high impact, it's high intensity, and the score is tight.
Very tight. The scores are locked in at the moment, 12-8, with Brazil ahead at the moment. And a big shout out to the Brazilian boys from the El Salvador guys who are just downstairs in the stands. Looking forward to having a game against you boys. And we wish you all the best. And Peru, keep your heads up. He's actually going to get there.
With Nunes kicking off the second half down to Peru. A difficult take there with the conditions worsening slightly. The rain falling a little bit. The play getting a little reckless. And there's been an infringement there with the referee awarding a penalty to Peru as they kick for touch here. Marching down field, 35 metres from the line. We'll have a tap restart through Jai Summers. It's up and over the 40. Summers waiting for the ball to Parker. Parker finds the big man. Kenneth Hopkins, I believe it is, who's out there for Peru. Persisting down this right side, this right edge, through Ibaburu. Summers again, favouring this right edge. Zarate with a good little run, beats the first man.
This has been a tactic from Peru the last few times they've gotten down this side of the field. Keep going to the right and eventually switching it to the left, hoping to get that overlap on that left side.
Summers with a darting run from dummy half, looking for the quick play of the ball. Zarate with the pass over to Altamarina. And we'll have a repeat set. So a really enterprising piece of play there to start this second half. I guess compounded by that penalty they received. Picked up an extra 30 metres with that kick for touch. And Summers and Parker choosing to pepper this right-hand side, the left-hand Brazilian defensive line. And then the repeat set. So we'll see what happens here from Peru.
I'm sure the Peruvian side got together at half-time and... the boys from a senior leadership perspective.
Oh, huge hit there on Daniela. Coughs the ball up.
That's a knock-on from Brazil as well. So as I was saying, Peru's probably come out of the dressing rooms after having stern words to actually have that senior leadership team stand up and deliver the goods for the side with the rest of the team backing up. Brazil with the feed, Steven Braga feeding that in. Nunes with the ball, looking very dangerous out wide. Taken out. Taken out by number 17, Matthew Sarate. He's a power man. Look at the size of him. No surprise.
It was a great to watch, but the referee's saying it was a second effort there. He's already been tackled. Tackle's complete. And then you've dragged me over. So, look, it's a penalty to Brazil. They'll march downfield.
Reminiscent of Gordon Tallis playing for Queensland in that State of Origin many years back.
Tallis and Hodgson, yeah. Oh! And it's the basics, isn't it, Daniel? It's the tap restarts.
Yeah.
It's the play the balls. It's the little things in rugby league that you need to get right. And we've seen there, it was the tap restart there, in fact, by number 12.
The rain's not helping. That wall is getting very, very, very slippery.
So, for something a little different, we're going to have a scrum.
Interesting to see the trainer for Peru, dual international here, Thomas Garrido, played successfully for Chile. He has half Chile and half Peruvian heritage, coming on as a trainer for Peru. So hopefully in the future we may see him play for Peru. Reason it hasn't happened to date is because he's just recovering from a serious leg injury which occurred mid-season for him last year in the Wollongong comp.
As Summers goes left, finds 23, which I don't have on paper, so we'll try and find out who 23 is. We've had a ragdoll attempt of a tackle there by Brazil, and Peru continue to march down, crossing the 20-metre line, but he's coughed it up, and it will be Braga who will try to counter-attack here.
Braga did well there, making good at least another 10 metres for Brazil just then.
Brazil needs to play safety first here and march downfield, playing the territory game here, because as you say, Daniel, the weather, it's turned a little bit. There's been a bit of rain. The ball's slippery, as we see there, just how slippery the ball is. And it is, in fact, Ruben Gomez who scored the letters there.
Oh! The Peruvian number 6 almost got away there.
That was Altamirano, who had a great little run down the right-hand side there. And they've managed to keep the ball in play here. Peru, again, favouring this right-hand edge through 13. It's Portillo.
So, interesting fact here. Paul Altamirano and George Altamirano are playing in this side. And there's actually 3 brothers that have played for Latin Heat and Peru in the past. So they're triplets.
Wow. The family connections continue, don't they? As the referee saying, we've got a high tackle there. So we'll have a penalty, Peru. Tap restart by Summers, gets it underway.
Martin Portillo.
To Portillo, and he gets it away.
He always looks dangerous when he has the ball. Jai scrambling over. Has he got it down?
Ball is held up. So strong defence there from Brazil. Sticking together there. Not panicking. Staying strong, staying firm, and holding Summers up over the line. So Summers will go back to the 10-metre line for the play the ball. Play restarts. Peru from dummy half through 17.
Matthew Zarete.
Zarete takes the first. He's about 7 metres out. He'll look for the play the ball. Summers wanting the ball.
Slow to get up, Zarete is. May have called.
Feeding left.
Copped the cork there.
Through 3, which is Isaiah Parker. And he's going to go over the touchline. He does indeed, and the flag is up. Strong Brazilian defence there again, Daniel.
It's really good to see these boys sparking up and put this defensive line through its paces. Peru, unfortunately, I think Brazil has actually caught on to the right and left play. I think they need to somehow find a new play or find some new spark to get through that line.
I think you're correct there, Daniel, that what Peru need to be doing close to the line is a few unders balls, a few change of directions, using the big man like Kenneth Hopkins. Because Brazil, as I say, they're able to account for the Peruvian attack. They can't attack themselves. So Peru, with the ball now, they're 2 metres out through number 5, Altamirano. In fact, it is George Altamirano. As they go across with the soccer ahead by Paul Altamirano, but ball is turned over. So again, we'll have a Brazilian ball through 9, Rodrigo Rezende.
It almost felt like we were watching soccer then.
I thought for a moment there that Altamirano was going to pull that off and, kick a little one into the in goal and get the try, but it wasn't to be, as Brazil look to march over the 30-metre line.
Matt Gardner making a solid 10 metres there.
Excellent efforts there. As Nunez calling the ball.
Ooh,
he finds
big hit. Mark Jackson
with the lost ball. Big contact there. Was that Summers? I think it was.
I think it was a combination of Summers and Martin Portillo again.
Portillo with a great hit, combining with Summers. Both players have had very strong performances here for Peru. Coach would be happy with both of their efforts. Enforcing the error. So we'll have a scrum 30 metres out. Peru with the opportunity to attack here. Let's see if they continue to look for the shift out wide or whether they look to create some angles here. It's Jaden Ibaburu there with the first run. Sloppy play the ball, but the referee allows it to continue. Another sloppy pass. It looked forward. It was forward. The referee says it is indeed a little forward pass. A little knock on there by number 3, Isaiah Parker.
I think both teams need to learn the lesson here. They need to slow down the play. They need to actually relax and compose themselves, because what's happening right now is a lot of forced errors here, and it's purely come down to them getting excited close to the line.
And I think it's up to the likes of Jacob Parker and George Altamirano, as well as Dylan Nunez and Lucas Vinales Vieira, to really compose their team, settle them down, settle the nerves.
Dylan stepped probably about 4 players in that play just then. Dylan Nunez. Matt Gardner slicing through as well.
Gardner with a strong run, up over the 40, picks out a penalty there. Mark is not square. So the stop-start nature to this game continues. Nunez finds touch. 35 out from Peru's goal line.
This is good field position for Brazil. They haven't been down this part of the field for close to about 10 minutes now.
So this is the first attacking opportunity we've seen Brazil have for quite some time, with Nunez hopefully taking control and steering the team around. But he's met with a huge hit there.
Ricardo Levi.
Martin Portillo as well in there, forcing the knock on play number 1. We'll have a change of possession.
If you're a Brazilian right now, you really need these guys to try to control that ball a bit more. Tuck it underneath that arm there and just hold on to it.
It's great seeing the passion and determination in defence, but in terms of keeping possession, we just need to see a little bit more respect of the ball, I think.
Absolutely. Need to treasure it.
So for those tuning in around the world, just so you know where we are, about 30 k's southwest from the Sydney CBD, at the lovely home of Liverpool All Saints, who are hosting us here today, and they've done a great job, haven't they, Daniel?
Excellent job. Look, quite a few of our internationals have been played here at the lovely Helio Oval, and in the recent years, this oval has been sensational in terms of the quality of the field and the quality of football that's being played here from an international perspective. Not only from the Latin American teams, but also the European teams that actually have a presence here in Australia, and also the Southeast Asian teams as well.
So as we have a stoppage for injury after that heavy contact, it is one of the Peruvian players that has gone down.
I'd like to call out as well the sponsors of the event. Guzman and Gomez once again coming to the party. The Mexican taqueria that's taken over Australia and will soon conquer the USA as well. You got Dr. Pickles, tattoo aftercare specialists. Their products are sensational. I rub them all over my body, all over my tats. So,
in fact, he's doing it right now.
And at the same time, I'd also like to call out Sean Day and his firm, Shield Security, who have been here since day one and have supported us, especially supporting Peru as well, and many other teams, including El Salvador and Colombia and Chile. So big thank you, Sean, and shame we couldn't see you out on the field today, mate. I hope you're feeling better.
So as the player from Peru is helped off the field, we saw the good sportsmanship with with both teams clapping him off. He's helped by the 2 trainers there, and it doesn't look like he'll be taking any further part in action today.
It's looking pretty slim for Peru at the moment with only 3 reserves. So it'll be a tough game from a fitness perspective.
And I think it's a question on the coach there as to when he's going to use the likes of Kenneth Hopkins, the big front rower there, who was damaging when he came on the field. So, how will the coach choose to utilise him? We'll see as this game unfolds with Peru, again, down the right-hand side, over the 40. Altamirano taking a run and sloppy pass, but it looked like it went backwards. The referees indicated it did go backwards as Peru continued to march over the halfway line. as Summers. He wants to quick play the ball. Does he get it? It was okay. He gets the ball back to the left-hand side through 16. It's Christian Ibaburu. Strong defence by Brazil. Through your man, Mark Jackson.
Altamirano.
He's hit with a strong tackle there by Viñas Vieira as Summers. Thinks he's caught the markers offside. It's last tackle. It's sloppy. Daniela. And we're just waiting to hear what the call was. It was, in fact, for Jai Summers, the veteran, he wasn't happy what Summers thought he'd done. He thought he'd come out of dummy half there, caught the markers offside. And the referee said no, they were square and let play on, and it was the last tackle. It was a poor pass. And then Summers decided to tell the ref what he thought, which, again, the referee was not having any piece of, was he?
None at all. We just seen Matt Gardner take that run up, make an easy 10 metres off a tap and pass from Dylan Nunez. And Dylan Nunez back in, it almost sliced him through, stopped there by Altamirano and Mateo Zarate. Good to see Simon Arujo out there as well in the number 12. Previously played for Latin Heat and also New South Wales Cucarachas in 2018.
Sloppy play of the ball. Referee picking that one up. And again, it's the attention to detail with the play of the ball. So it was a little kick forward instead of a roll back.
It's those basics, right? Those basics that need to get right.
It's really scuppering any opportunity either team has in terms of gaining some consistency, and building some pressure, some momentum. Really missing here this afternoon, and part of that is down to the conditions. We do know that it's been on and off with some rain today, which makes things difficult, but it makes it more relevant for players to make sure the attention to detail is the number one priority. As we see Peru with a shift to the left-hand edge. About 15, 16 metres out from their line.
Slow to get up.
Looks like a bit of cramp.
A good old cramp kicking in, hey?
Peru starting to play some basic football, nothing too expansive. Choosing to hold on to possession and just march downfield. Getting the basics right, it seems.
And Jose Urrutia spilled the lollies.
I spoke too soon, didn't I? A little knock on there. Possession changes, and Brazil have the chance now. They're inside the Peru half. Strong carry there by Barrera, I should say. It's a bit of a knock there in that tackle. The player from Peru staying down.
See the orange shirt out there with Brazil at the moment, Stephen Dowler. He actually comes back from a background, used to do quite a lot of the training work for Moorebank Rams and Sydney Shield last year, and this year is now helping out with Harold Matz with the West Tigers. So good to see him out there, and good to see him helping out International Rugby League.
As Gardner takes the first charge, 25 metres out, Brazil going left through Mark Jackson.
Jackson
charge. He's up
through
to the 10 metres.
He almost got past that guy.
Looking for the quick play, but he gets an okay pass, but the catch could not be taken. The ball not handled. And we see a change of possession again as Peru now looking to come out of their own line through Jai Summers. He's up over the 30-metre line. Pushing the 30-metre line, I should say. And we've got a knock on there in dummy half again. Attention to detail, the little things that are just not happening for either team. In the last probably 5 minutes or so, we've seen set after set that is not completed.
And it's those little things, right? Like, just need to do those things properly. I know the guys are tired out there, but at this level, you need to actually step up and dig in deep. Pick up those balls, bend all the way down, and pass them out. Hold on to it, tuck it under. Don't have a loose carry with one arm only.
Nunes with the feed. He's coming right. Vinas Vieira, it is the 5'8". He splits the defence and puts the ball down under the sticks for another try to Brazil, taking the score out to 16 points to 8 kick to come. Daniel, thoughts? Scrum, Nunes, Vinas Vieira combining.
Absolutely, it's a dangerous combination. We've said it all day. Nunes, he just needs to link up with those key players for magic to happen, and this is exactly what we've seen today. You're starting to see the Peru defence tire a bit. Both teams are tiring at this stage, but you need these men, you need these key people, these key players to stand up and take the lead, and that's exactly what you've seen here.
And when it comes to Nunes, he doesn't need to do it all himself. In that stage of the game, it's just up to feeding the scrum, getting the ball to his danger man. But in that case, it was Lucas Vinas Vieira with the number 6 on his back, who has the dazzling footwork.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that link-up's starting to happen, especially in this part of the field. I think Peru is having a few words there. They're still in this. They can still come back and make something happen of this. We're only about 2 tries away from them being able to come back and potentially take this one out. So I think what's happening at the moment, Sean, is Peru is having some harsh words with the team. They're trying to see how they can compose themselves and come back from this and hold on to that ball, because that's the most critical thing. If you can hold on to the ball, I guarantee you Peru's going to march down the field. And that's one of the biggest issues that they're having at the moment.
As Nunes looks to convert the try, he moves in, clean kick, adds the extras, taking the score out to 18 points to 8. It's a 10-point ball game, and it looks like, Daniel, on the sidelines for Peru, it looks like my man, Kenneth Hopkins, about to take the field. Perhaps he will be the spark that Peru needs.
We need those heavy hitters out there right now, and I hope for the Peruvian fans, Kenneth Hopkins makes a big difference for the team.
So we know with the defence being very strong in the first half, especially, and it is only February. The season's just beginning for a lot of these players who will turn to club football. But the quality has been high in terms of the defensive efforts, and in that case, it's also resulted in a few injuries. So both teams
around the ball,
a little depleted when it comes to their substitution. So it's important that the coaches utilise their subs at key points in time, and I think for Peru that time's now for Kenneth Hopkins. As we see from that restart, there was a little juggle from the kick recipient and a forward pass that the referees picked up on, probably with some help from the touch judges. So it'll be a scrum feed 10 metres out, Peru's ball. As they come right through Daniela feeds it on to Zarate. Summers, he wants quick ball, he wants it. Goes back left, cuts out Daniela. Finds 23, the mystery man, who gets Marufo Davidson, the fullback. Finds the space, a little gap, a little shimmy and go. And it'll be 4 points for Peru.
Scores are currently 18-12, with Brazil still in front. Conversion to come from Peru. We're just one try away from Peru mounting a comeback here and making it happen. Let's see if we can do it, hey Peruvians? Let's see.
I think the comeback's just started. I think if they can keep with this momentum, they've just shown that the Brazilian defence is quite frail on their own line. And I think that's down to the fact that there's been such heavy hits. The players, their bodies are feeling it. It's the back end of the second half. We know there's been a few injuries as well. Players are getting tired. It's the start of the season. And so it's a matter of if you can keep control of the ball, if you can hold onto the ball and keep possession, you'll score points.
Exactly. And you're absolutely right, because if you look at the back play there, you still see number 12, Simon Arujo, on the ground there, obviously copying a big hit when that try was scored. He's up now. He's trying to make his way back into his position.
And the kick was successful, which takes the score to 18 points to 14 in favour of Brazil. It's a great shot at goal there from the team in red.
The score is 18 points to 14.
So it'll be Nunes getting us back underway here with the kick restart. Sends it down nice and deep. It's a great kick, taken cleanly by Peru. And he's met by a strong defence there by 3 Brazilian defenders, led by that man Gardner, who again has been ever present today, hasn't he?
He actually put a big hit on Kenneth Hopkins just there.
Hopkins, who was the player with impact in the first half, just got smashed in a big ball and all tackle. Peru marching downfield, about to cross the 30. Again, peppering this right-hand edge. Finding Altamarino.
Both Altamarinos just hooked up in that play there.
Good to see the brothers combining as they go back left, centre ground, but swooped on by 2 forwards from Brazil. Sloppy play, going left. We've seen a fumble. The referee said play on. It's last tackle though. Can't get the ball underway. He's wrapped up, ball and all, and that'll constitute 6 tackles. We'll have a change of possession. Brazil now attacking. But you know what? A completed set.
That was a good set. A good set from Peru. Starting to see some more composure. I think that halftime talk's really starting to kick in now. Hopefully we can see more of this.
As Brazil look to go left.
Big hit there.
Big hit on Resende. And he's felt that. The hooker taking a run there. Probably wasn't his ball, to be honest. But the players are looking quite tired now towards the back end of this game. And he decided to put his hand up for a carry and got absolutely smashed. We hope that he's okay as he gets some attention to one of his legs. Hopefully nothing too serious.
I'm sure it's just a cramp this late in the game, but it's good. It's given his team a bit of a breather and given the Peruvians a bit of a breather and compose themselves as well. They're ready to set the play with Nunes playing the ball.
Coming back right, finding the big man. Quick play the ball. Looking to go left through Nunes, linking up with his forwards here. Sloppy defence. Breaks through the first defender, wrapped up by 2 others. He's inside the 10. Brazil peppering the line. Finds the big man again in Jackson. He's turtled on his back, but he rolls over, plays the ball. Tough pass to take. I think it's Gardner. And that is tackle number 6. So changeover. We've had 2 completed sets though. We might not have had a kick on either of them. But you know what? The play's improved a little.
That it has.
Strong defensive efforts here from Brazil now, pushing Peru back inside their own. Little scoot from dummy half. Gets away from Gardner.
I'm starting to smell the Peruvian empanadas cooking from the Latin Cafe just here, and it's kind of making me hungry.
As we see another knock-on from Peru, so we'll have Brazil with an attacking opportunity here. The score is 18 points to 14 to Brazil. And Daniel, you're right, it's been a fantastic day here at Helio Oval with the food, with the dances, the entertainment, bit of a carnival atmosphere. We've got all the fans wearing their colours, their jerseys, their shirts. What a fantastic day here.
It has been a fantastic day. And I think all the fans have actually come out and represented, and it's probably been one of the best days that I've seen at Helia in some time. So good to see this event being very well organised by both the Brazilian and Peruvian teams. Big shout out to Jamie Perez from Peru, and also to Rob Bergen from Brazil for managing to pull off such a spectacular day of footy.
As Nunes goes right, Barrera with this little run from the scrum. Pulled down a couple of metres out from the line, playing the ball, numbers right, dummy half goes himself. Arroyo crosses, number 12, with a 4-pointer for Brazil, and that should surely wrap up the game, you would think, at 14 points to 22. The kick to come, if he converts this try, 8 point. In fact, that'll take us out to a 10-point scoreline if he converts this. Do you think there's enough time for Peru?
It's kind of very short at the moment, especially with the way that the clock is counting down. So there's only a couple of minutes left, and with Brazil just scoring now, it's going to be a hard ask for Peru to come back. If they do come back, which I know they have the capability of doing, they have to start firing on all cylinders right now.
And behind the try line there, the Peru team, they look fairly defeated, it's fair to say. In terms of the injuries they've suffered, the heavy contact late in the game, they're doing it quite tough now.
Yes, they are. So I think, they're having the conversation back there. Again, you can actually see Jai Summers trying to hype up the team and bring them back into that killing phase, essentially. But whether it's going to happen or not, it's yet to be seen. Whereas the Brazilian side, they're looking pretty enthusiastic at this point, already set up in positions ready for that kickoff to take place. Dylan Nunes is about to line up to convert this one to take it out to potentially 24-14.
Nunes. The concentration. Steps in. Chips it in nicely and gets the extra 2, taking us out to a 10-point ball game. It's 24 points to 14 in favour of Brazil. The Peru team in no rush to get back to halfway, it seems. Fairly slow with their restart, whereas Brazil seem still energetic, ready for the kickoff, and they want to score more points. I think they want to put on at least another try or two.
Up until probably about 10-15 minutes ago, it was a very tight game, and the scores had switched leads at least 4 times. But now we're starting to see Brazil with a lot more enthusiasm. A big break on the right-hand side here by Lucas.
Summers grabs onto the jersey and pulls him down, going past Peru players that have got cramp. And
he's still going.
We're seeing missed tackles creep in as well there. That was number 15 there for Peru. Roy Rosuri, who spectacular missed tackle there. But he's had a good game though, nonetheless, particularly strong with his carries. As Brazil, inside the 30, looking for the quick play the ball. Shifting left through Nunes. Nunes linking up with his forwards. It's the big man once again, Mark Jackson, with another strong carry. He's put down in a heavy tackle, but he gets up to his credit, gets to play the ball, and Brazil looking to continue the attack. A big don't argue there from number 18 in Ricardo Levi. And he drops the ball. And such is the story of this game. We've seen some really strong carries, we've seen some really strong hits in defence, but the attention to detail, I guess early in the year, has lacked from both teams. So I guess the takeaway is that this is it's a starting point for 2020. It's a starting point for both of these teams this year. They'll have a lot of their players from both teams will go back to their club sides now and continue pre-season, get ready for the trials and get ready for the year ahead. And then probably towards the end of the year, when the international season resumes, we hope that both teams can get back together and build on this.
Absolutely, and it needs to happen. We need to ensure that going forward, these two sides are just starting off at the moment. These players need to ensure that they keep their heads into footy, they keep their heads concentrated on that club footy and building on those skills that are letting them down at the moment.
As Altamirano with the run down the left-hand edge. He's managed to stay in the field of play somehow. He's not the biggest man. He's probably around 60 kgs wringing wet, but that's okay because he's got pace, he's got speed to burn. As we see a reckless tackle there, slip up around the neck, so we'll have a penalty here. The referee choosing no further action. Just a warning on the run to the players to say, keep your tackles down. We've had a Peru player in Isaiah Parker leave the field. He was the one that was down through what we thought was cramp. And he's just left the field. So Peru only with 12 men on the field at the moment.
Matthew Zarate coming on.
Zarate coming back on the field.
Steve Braga almost made a break right there. Dylan Nunez might scoot out from dummy half, and he does.
Nunez with
taking
a
advantage
solid
of the
run.
defense. Still going. Number 16, Juan Campina. The Casanova is just taking a run up there.
As Mark Jackson takes a strong carry here. He's over the 10. And the referee is calling a halt to play as another Peru player is down injured.
Is that Corey Daniela? I think it may be.
It looks like it's Daniela who has gone down with an injury here from the previous play. And we also have the big man Hopkins receiving some treatment as well, but he's back up in the marker position. Hopefully he'll be okay. So with Mark Jackson, a strong carry there, which has been his game all day, carry after carry. We're 10 metres out in front of the posts. Where does Brazil attack? Where do the points come?
They've been favouring that right edge all day. So it wouldn't surprise me, unless the big men have the steam in them, that they'll probably send it out to the backs this close to the try line. You can already see Matt Gardner expecting the ball to come his way.
It'd be great to see Gardner go in for a try.
It would be. Good way to make his comeback to the rugby league scene.
Yeah, the comeback kid. From Super League to the Olympics to Hilly Oval in Liverpool. So Daniela is being helped off the field. He's had a strong game, especially with ball in hand. He's going to be feeling a little worse for wear when he wakes up in the morning.
As we all do after playing 80 minutes of footy, right?
Mate, even without playing a game of footy, I wake up worse for wear. So. As Jackson plays the ball, goes to Gardner. Gardner switches back to Nunez on the left-hand side. Grab a kick in, but it's not the greatest kick. And he's lost the ball forward. So it was an enterprising piece of play there where we've got Gardner positioned on one side calling the ball, dummies right, then changes direction back to the left-hand side with Nunez wrapping around. Was the grubber kick on? Was it the last tackle? I'm not sure that was the right time for that play. Peru now with ball in hand, working out.
It did seem like something that they had rehearsed at practice. Didn't necessarily pan out this time around.
As Peru march over the 20-metre line. Here comes the big unit. And he's met by strong contact. Just waiting to see what the result will be for Kenneth Hopkins here. He charged onto that ball, the big man. Met by 2 strong challenges from Brazil, and he's lost the ball. And the referee is saying it'll be Peru maintaining the possession. So Brazil obviously with a hand there that pulled that ball out, constituting a knock-on. So the scrum feed to Peru. Play continues as they edge towards the halfway mark. Good little short ball there from 16. Which is Ibaburu. He's been great all day today. Took to the line, little handoff, finding a player through a gap as Peru continue. Downfield, they cross halfway. They're going for another one of these torpedo kicks, which are not easy to take. Hits the deck. It's down inside that back corner.
Ravi Ahuro picking that one up well.
Well handled by the young fella.
Donovan Barrera scooting out from dummy half. Almost sliced through that line of defence. Caught just short of that 30-metre line. Rodrigo Resende now taking it out to the 40. Dylan Nunes to Matt Gardner. What can he do?
Gardner beats
Taking it out
2,
wide.
beats
He's
3,
linking up.
gets a ball forward past the call, and it did look forward out of the hands. Rightly called by the touch judge.
Rubens Gomez just one step too ahead.
Gardner looking to do it all there. He beat 3, cut out ball, showing his class.
These guys just need a few minutes under their belts playing together as a team, and you'll actually start to see them kick some goals and start to make some real progress.
And you know what, both teams are going to have to be careful, because watching the under-16s and under-19s Latin Heat teams, there's some fantastic juniors coming up through the ranks that, you know, in the next year or two, I'd be, you know, having one eye looking behind me to see, you know, who wants to take my position, because there's some really strong talent coming through.
Yeah, I guess for the administrators of both sides, that's really good news. But for the players that are on the field at the moment, you're right, there is a target on their back.
As Peru edges further forward, but loses possession here in the impact of that tackle.
Ruben Gomez, strong run up. Simon Arujo playing dummy half here. Passes on to Mark Jackson, who's just beat
Jackson
1, beat 2.
Beats 2. He's got another 2 on his back, and he crosses into the attacking half here. Gets a good play the ball away.
The players out wide are calling for the ball right now. They're seeing that overlap. They want to take advantage of it. Will Brazil send it out that way? Nunes
continues to shift right. Scrappy pass, but well taken by your man out there on the wing. He beats 1. He beats 2.
Ravi.
And touches down in the corner
Arujo
for another 4-pointer. The show and go. The pickup. The poor pass, but it hits the deck. He picks it up, 1 bounce. He beats 1. He beats 2. Swerves. Evades. The pace to burn. Touches down. 4 points, Brazil.
28-14. This is now starting to become a Brazil game. And Peru must now just try to maintain the scores level at this stage. Try not to concede any more points and try to bring some more respectability to the game.
It's only a matter of minutes left in this one. And with the score out to 28-14, you're right that both teams will be looking to finish the game strongly. Hopefully no more injuries, and the game can end in good spirits. Which has really been the nature of today, from the under-16s through the under-19s, and then this one, the main game, Peru-Brazil.
Yeah.
And just the atmosphere here at Hillier Oval all day, from the spectators, which, I mean, there's, looking around the field, there's at least a few hundred here that have made the effort to come out to Hillier Oval in southwestern Sydney. The food trucks, We've had the dancers and the performers, some music. It's been a great day.
It's been a beautiful day. Lovely day being here, commentating in front of everyone and watching this great game.
Nunez lining up the kick.
Probably going to be one of his toughest kicks of the day.
It's in the eastern touchline here. He's about 20 metres back, right on the sideline.
One thing he does have in his favour is that there's no wind at the moment. It was previously against him.
He steps in. Hits it sweet.
It's looking good.
And the flags are up for another 2 points, taking Brazil out to 30 points. Peru, 14. It's a 16-point ball game here. And it's starting to feel that way as well. Watching this game, the dominance of Brazil in the second half here, it's probably about right in terms of scoreline. The possession that Brazil's been able to maintain, as well as the defensive efforts. Several opportunities Peru had earlier in the first half, both on the right and left-hand sides here of the try line. Brazil were able to counteract. So I think 30 points to 14 about reflects this match. As we get underway with the short restart. And it goes out on the full, so we'll have a penalty to Brazil at the halfway line. Going for the short option, it's the less practiced restart, and with that means that the difficulty is obviously higher as well. Big credit to Peru for trying to get the ball back, as Nunez will look to get play restarted. And he does a little tap and gives it on to the big man. Mark Jackson takes the final carry here at Hillier Oval between this match between Brazil and Peru. We've had a fantastic day here, starting with Malta's defeat of the Latin Heat in the under-16s, followed by the under-19s, which saw Malta record a win as well, and then finally here in the main game between Brazil and Peru. We've got a scoreline of 30 points to 14 in favour of Brazil.
Absolutely great game of footy, and I'd like to say special thanks to all the players out there, all the fans and supporters and the administrators that have made this possible. Big shout out to Bar TV for running this video stream and broadcasting it all over the world, and a big shout out to the major sponsors of the tournament here today. Guzman and Gomez, Mexican Taqueria, Dr. Pickles, Tattoo Aftercare Products, and Shield Security. Thank you very much. It's been a great day. This is Daniel Godinez and Sean.
Thank you very much, Sean, coming here. Thanks, Daniel. It's been a fantastic day to be joined by you, standing alongside you up here at the clubhouse.
Likewise.
We've seen a fantastic, spectacular game of football here. All three games just show the future of rugby league. It shows what can happen when it comes to our Latin American brothers and sisters in terms of playing this great game of rugby league, and what the future holds in terms of future World Cups, international matches, and the rankings. So we look forward to more games just like this one, where we can see standalone nations like Brazil and Peru fighting it out for international ranking points and furthering their development.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
Daniel, pleasure, mate. See you, Sean. Nice work. See you.